Ever feel like the world is just changing incredibly fast? Like you just get used to one thing and bam, there's a whole new wave of tech, new jargon, new ways to even think about work.
Yeah, it could be kind of head spinning, can't it? Exciting maybe, but also a bit like, whoa, slow down.
Exactly, like
Y-
trying to sip from a fire hose. And that feeling, that acceleration, that's really why we're here today.
Yeah.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our goal always is to help you make sense of these big shifts. And today we are diving deep, really deep into the whole AI revolution that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
But not the sci-fi stuff, the far-off future. We're talking practical realities. We're talking about the surprising opportunities that are, well, popping up right this minute.
Yeah, the here and now of it.
Right. Our mission is simple. Cut through the hype, filter out the noise, and really get to the truth of the matter so you feel properly informed quickly without getting totally overwhelmed.
And the sources we're drawing on today, that's what makes this, I think, particularly valuable. We're not looking at like abstract academic papers.
No theory.
No theory. This comes straight from a really dynamic, candid conversation. It was from a meeting called AI Revolution: Creativity, Community, and Business Systems.
Okay.
And the key thing is, these are people on the ground, like really on the ground. They're using AI, experimenting with it, building businesses with it right now, today.
So real world experience, not just ideas.
Exactly. It's not about what might happen. It's about what people are doing, the challenges they're hitting, the opportunities they're grabbing.
That's a crucial difference. So, okay, what are you, the listener, going to actually get out of this deep dive?
Well, you'll get a much clearer picture of how AI isn't just, tweaking old jobs. It's actually creating brand new roles
Uh-huh.
and completely new ways to generate revenue. We'll look at how it's impacting creativity sometimes in ways you wouldn't expect,
Right.
how it's building these unexpected communities, and fundamentally how it's kind of reshaping the whole idea of work itself.
Think of this as your shortcut, really. Your way to get up to speed on a huge global shift with information you can actually use. It respects your time.
Exactly. Vital knowledge, fast.
All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. These entry points into AI. When we say AI is reshaping things, where do people actually start? Like, what's the first step?
Mm-hmm.
We heard from Shiku Kefkamara, and his story was, well, it was really relatable, I thought. He called himself a die-hard paper and pen person.
Right. Anti-technology almost.
Pretty much. Especially for his creative stuff, which is often, very hands-on, very tactile. But, and this is the key part, he saw this shift happening. He recognized he had to get on board with AI.
Not because he suddenly loved tech, necessarily.
No, it was more like survival. He saw outsourcing costs going up. He saw the inefficiency of the old ways.
Oh, yeah. That inefficiency point is huge.
He talked about like going back and forth 20 times with a designer, maybe in China or India.
Just for a font change.
Exactly. 20 rounds for a font. Think about the time that wastes, the frustration, the emails, the time zones.
It's soul-crushing.
Yeah,
And it hits the bottom line.
absolutely. That kind of struggle, so many creatives, so many small business owners know that feeling. So his journey, it shows how even people who are naturally resistant are realizing, okay, I can't afford to ignore this anymore.
It's pragmatic. The world changed.
Mhm.
You adapt or you get left behind. And what's really striking, I think, is just how different these starting points can be. So Sheku comes from this creative angle,
Right.
but then you look at, say, Sibakunzi Matane or Masai. Totally different backgrounds, totally different ways in.
Okay, tell us about Sebakunzi. His story sounded pretty wild.
It's credible, really. He basically said, look, I'm talkative, long-winded, and I don't know how to code. That's how he described himself.
Huh. So not your typical tech founder.
Not at all. But listen to this.
Yeah.
He created 40 sites in 4 weeks.
40.
40. Using Lovable and ChatGPT. And get this, they weren't just like demos. They were revenue building within 3 weeks.
Okay, hold on. How? How does someone who doesn't code do that?
So his strategy was pretty clever. He'd use ChatGPT to take his ideas, his long-winded concepts, and structure them, flesh them out into proper product requirement documents, PRDs.
Like a blueprint.
Exactly, a detailed blueprint. Then he'd feed that structured PRD into Lovable. Now, Lovable is this AI platform that's specifically built to take text requirements and like magically turn them into working websites or apps, often in minutes.
So it builds it visually from the text.
Pretty much. Minimal coding needed. It
Yeah.
just translates the concept into a digital product super fast. And Sebakunzi, he had this key insight.
Mm-hmm.
He said, teaching AI to teach another AI is the way to go.
Ah, so using multiple AIs together, like orchestrating them.
Precisely. It's not just one prompt. It's designing an intelligence workflow. It's a whole new skill, really. Then you got Masai, his background, running a content marketing agency. The traditional kind.
Oh,
He found an AI product. Didn't specify which one, but it could do the work 10 times, 20 times, sometimes 50 times faster than his team could manually.
50 times. That's not just efficiency, that's a different category altogether.
Exactly. It wasn't just tweaking things. It was a quantum leap.
Mm-hmm.
And it made him completely rethink his business.
So what did he do?
He pivoted hard, stopped just doing content creation, and started helping other companies build their own AI workflows, AI agents, automations.
Building the systems for them.
Right. And now he's specifically focused on helping solo attorneys and small firms use AI to basically save them time and money. Very practical, very problem-focused.
Moving from generalist to specialist, powered by AI.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the artist, the non-coder building dozens of sites, the agency owner turning into an AI strategist. What's the big takeaway here for you listening?
I think the single biggest thing is
Right.
AI has blown the doors open on innovation. It's not just for the PhDs in Silicon Valley anymore.
Right. It's democratized.
Totally. It's become this launch pad. Anyone, really, regardless of your tech background, can now spot a problem, build a solution, and actually monetize it faster and cheaper than was ever imaginable before.
That barrier to entry just plummeted.
Completely. And that's creating this whole new landscape for entrepreneurs, for creatives, for anyone with an idea. Your specific problem, your niche insight, you now have tools to actually do something about it right now. And building on that, if you zoom out a bit, AI isn't just about doing the old stuff faster. It's genuinely opening up completely new ways to create value. Things that were just like impossible or way too expensive before.
Okay, like what? Give us an example.
Well, take Zena Collins. She talked about using Google Notebook LM.
Mm-hmm.
She could take, say, a casual chat, maybe a client call, or just brainstorming.
Right, unstructured conversation.
Exactly. And turn it into a polished podcast conversation. Ready to go in less than maybe 20 minutes with hardly any editing.
20 minutes. From raw chat to finished podcast.
Yeah. That's not just fast, it's hyper efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Think what that means for creators. You can put out content constantly, explore super niche topics, maybe even create personalized audio. The scale is just different.
That's amazing. Okay, what else?
Siba Kunzi's thing with Lovable again. He called outdated websites the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, there are a lot of those out there.
Millions. And before AI, updating a website was often this big, expensive, time-sucking project, right?
Mm-hmm.
A real barrier for small businesses.
Definitely.
But now, with tools like Lovable that can build sites from text prompts, that barrier is just gone, or much, much lower anyway. It opens up this huge, accessible market for quick, affordable web updates. Anyone can basically tap into this massive need.
So finding those existing problems that AI suddenly makes easy to solve.
Exactly. Effortless capture of existing opportunities. And Masai really nailed this point too. He said businesses, they aren't necessarily looking to buy AI. They don't care about the tech itself.
Right. They care about results.
Precisely. What they're asking is, how does this technology help me solve a really practical problem? That's the question.
So focus on the problem, not the tool.
Yes. And then the beauty is, once you do build an AI workflow or solution like Masai's thing for solo attorneys, maybe an automated client intake system,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes very easy to replicate that and send it out to multiple people.
Scalability. Build once, sell many times.
Exactly. It changes the whole business model from selling your time hour by hour to selling a scalable solution, a productized service.
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating for me. It feels like the shift is from just doing tasks faster to actually creating entirely new things, building solutions.
That's it. That's the core insight.
Think about those ideas you've had, the ones you've maybe shelved because they seem too big, too complicated, too expensive.
Mm-hmm. We all have those.
Well, AI is that tool. It's the enabler that can take those ambitious ideas and make them real, much faster, much cheaper than ever. It's a leap from doing to creating. It reminds me of, Steve Jobs with the iPod. He didn't just show off the tech. He painted the picture. 1,000 songs in your pocket. He focused on the solution first.
Right. The human benefit.
And the tech made it happen. AI is kind of giving us that power now, but on a massive scale. Your ideas, your solutions, they can jump from your head to reality incredibly fast.
A massive empowerment.
Which leads us straight into this huge workforce transformation. It's not coming, it's happening now.
Right.
We heard that pretty blunt warning from the Amazon CEO. Yes, jobs will disappear. We have to face that.
Absolutely. It's naive to think otherwise.
But, and this is the crucial but, the real kicker, way more AI-enabled jobs are going to be created.
It's not a simple swap.
Right.
It's a restructuring.
A fundamental shift in the kinds of skills, the kinds of roles that are needed. Adaptability is everything.
So that brings up the big question, doesn't it, for you
Yeah.
listening? If work itself is changing this fast, what does that mean for your career, for your future? How do you stay relevant?
Yeah, what do you do?
Well, the conversations really highlighted this immediate critical skills shortage in AI. There's this palpable urgency. Companies, individuals, everyone's scrambling to catch up.
Desperation, almost.
Almost, yeah. But here's the amazing part, the empowering part. Big names, huge institutions like Harvard, like Google, they're literally giving away free courses.
Free courses from Harvard and Google on AI.
Yes. High-quality, sophisticated AI education accessible to basically anyone with internet. It's a massive democratization of knowledge.
Why are they doing that?
Well, think about it. Someone needs to build and manage these systems, right? The implication was pretty clear. The machines are going to have to operate themselves if they don't have us training these skills.
Well, good point. We need people who know how this stuff works.
So it's this huge opportunity. It's an invitation, really. Step up, learn this stuff. And this accessible education, it does something else, too. It gives you the power to create your own jobs rather than stressing out trying to navigate the workplace.
Create your own job.
Instead of waiting for the perfect job ad, you can now identify a need, use AI to build a solution, maybe a service or a product, and boom, you've created your own role, your own value proposition.
That's a huge shift in thinking. From employee to creator.
Totally. It's about taking control, carving out your own niche, using these tools to build your own future on your own terms.
So, practically speaking, what's the advice for someone listening right now? What should they actually do?
It really boils down to embracing that learning mindset. Be proactive. Take those free courses. Seriously, they're gold.
Okay.
Find your people. Get into groups, online or offline. Share what you're learning. Collaborate.
Community matters.
Hugely. And be ready to pivot. Be agile. The job you have today might change or disappear.
Scary thought.
But honestly, if you've built the skills, you could genuinely land a new, maybe even better AI-related job the next day. It's about preparation.
So don't fear it. Prepare for it.
Exactly. The knowledge is out there, often free. The key is the initiative to go get it.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and tackle one of the big anxieties people have, especially creatives. Chiku brought this up really well. He asked, basically, if everyone has the same tools, the same AI models, doesn't everything just start looking the same?
The homogenization problem, yeah.
He noticed it himself, said sometimes flyers are looking the same or they have that generic kind of AI look or feel. And it's a fair question, right? How do you stay unique when the tools are universal?
It's a really valid concern.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets to the heart of, how do you differentiate yourself when the underlying tech becomes a commodity? Which it is, rapidly.
So how do you?
Sebakuzi had this fantastic analogy. He said, how many songs have been created in life that have a guitar in it? And a guitar only has 6 strings.
Huh. Okay.
His point was, the tool is limited, maybe, or universal. The guitar is the same for everyone, but the output, that depends entirely on your creativity, your touch, your skill, your vision.
So the AI is the guitar, you're the musician.
Exactly. And he made this great distinction between lazy AI and really generative AI.
Lazy AI. What's that?
That's the generic stuff.
Yeah.
The cut and paste responses, the I hope this message finds you well emails.
Oh, yeah.
That comes from just, surface level prompting, no real thought. But truly unique output, that comes when you feed the AI your specific stuff.
Yeah.
Your insights, your data, your style.
You have to put you into it.
Yes. He said AI can make you extremely lazy or extremely great. No middle ground. It amplifies what you bring to the table, your unique ingredients. And then Masai added another layer to this, a really useful framework for thinking about competitive advantage, especially with tech.
Okay.
He said you usually differentiate in one of 3 ways. Either your technology is different, your data is different, or your distribution is different.
Tech, data, or distribution. Got it.
But, he argued, for most of us now, the technology advantage doesn't exist anymore. Everyone has access to powerful models like ChatGPT.
Right. The playing field for the core tech is pretty level.
Exactly. So where's the differentiation? It's in your data, your specific knowledge, your unique archives, like Sheku's music. Or it's in your distribution, your network, your brand, your relationships, your audience.
Ah, so the human elements become the key differentiators, your specific knowledge and your network.
Precisely. Those are the things AI can't replicate. That's where your unique value lies.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So the human input, the unique data, the relationships, that's paramount. AI is the amplifier, but you provide the original signal.
You got it. It's about supercharging your uniqueness, not replacing it.
Hmm.
Your fingerprint on the output is what makes it stand out.
Right. Now, even with all this potential, we also heard about this risk, this danger of just going down a rabbit hole.
The endless experimentation trap.
Hey, getting lost in all the cool tools, trying everything, but not really getting anywhere specific. Burning time, burning credits, maybe burning out. So how do you navigate this? How do you use these tools effectively without getting lost?
It's such an important point because it shows that success here isn't just about the tech. It's maybe more about your approach, your mindset.
How you learn, how you apply it.
Exactly. Xena shared her own story here, very honestly. She got so excited about Lovable, started experimenting like crazy.
Without reading the instructions.
Yep, not reading the instructions so that I burnt out credits.
Been there.
We all have. But it led her to realize, okay, random clicking isn't sustainable. You need a systematized approach.
Like learning any craft, really. You need fundamentals, discipline.
Precisely. You need structure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just waste energy. And Xena also hit on another big challenge, navigating the sheer volume of information out there. She talked about her frustration with people cutting and pasting other people's poor leadership.
Oh, interesting. Like bad advice getting amplified.
Exactly. Information overload, but not necessarily quality information, which means you have to be incredibly discerning.
Filter carefully.
Yes. She said find the real experts. Like she goes to Seth Godin for marketing insights. Don't just grab the first thing you see. Vet your sources. Build on solid ground.
Critical thinking is more important than ever.
Absolutely essential. And speaking of experts, if you really want to understand the fundamentals of AI, Masai gave a huge recommendation. Andrej Karpathy.
Andrej Karpathy. Okay, who is he?
He called him the foremost AI educator on the internet, on the planet, which is a big claim, but honestly, it's probably true.
Wow. What's his background?
He used to head up AI at OpenAI
Yeah.
and at Tesla. He was key in developing their self-driving tech
Okay, so he knows his stuff.
deeply. Mathai recommends his YouTube channel for getting the fundamentals, understanding what the technology is, how it works, what its limitations are, what's the best way to use it and not use it.
So not just how to use the tools, but how they actually work underneath.
Exactly, like understanding the engine, not just driving the car. Sheku had specifically asked for recommendations on where to start, and Karpathy is an amazing resource for that foundational knowledge. But it's not all technical. Both Sebakunzi and Xena really emphasized emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence for learning AI.
Yeah.
How so?
They talked about navigating the uncomfortableness of the learning curve, that feeling of being new, of not knowing things.
Yeah, that can be tough.
And they argued the biggest barrier isn't lack of smarts. It's feeling that they got a safe face by not asking questions about things that they don't understand.
Ah, the fear of looking stupid.
Exactly. You need the emotional intelligence, the vulnerability to say, I don't get this, and ask the basic questions, to push through that discomfort. Xena also brought up this really powerful concept, the shift from the attention economy to the connection economy.
Attention economy to connection economy. Unpack that.
The attention economy is where everyone's just fighting for eyeballs, right? Endless scrolling, passive consumption. She warned that if you just stay a consumer there, you're basically going to get left behind.
Okay, so the connection economy.
That's about building real relationships, collaborating, creating shared value. It's a call to become a producer, not just a consumer.
Get involved, contribute, build community.
Exactly. Participate in open source, join niche communities, co-create content, board trust, build shared capability. Don't just consume.
Okay, so the big message here seems to be AI success needs more than tech skills. It needs a certain mindset.
Absolutely. Disciplined learning, critical discernment, and importantly, the willingness to be uncomfortable, to be vulnerable as you learn.
Your approach, your mindset is just as crucial as the tool itself.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Intentionality, curiosity, and a producer spirit. That's the combo.
You know, it's also really helpful to understand where we are in the grand scheme of things, like in the overall adoption of AI.
The bigger picture. Yeah. There's this classic model from the book Crossing the Chasm that talks about the 5 stages of a technology adoption cycle.
Okay, I think I've heard of this.
Right. So first you have the innovators, the techies. They love tech just because it's new and cool.
The first one's tinkering with everything.
Exactly. Like the folks we heard from, experimenting daily. They'll put up with bugs just for the thrill of it.
Mhm.
Then come the early adopters. These people aren't techies for tech's sake. They're pragmatic. They're looking for a clear, tangible
And I
advantage.
want to see how it helps them specifically.
Right. They need that flagship application, that really clear use case that gives them an edge. Like the first business is jumping on email because they saw the immediate benefit.
Okay, innovators, early adopters then.
Then you get the early majority, the late majority, and finally the laggards. That's the path from niche to mainstream.
And the chasm is between.
Between the early adopters and the early majority. That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
There are lots of tech fails because it can't make that leap from the enthusiasts to the broader market.
Ah, okay. And this explains why focusing on practical problems is so important right now.
Bingo.
Like Sibakunzi's outdated websites or Masai's lawyer solutions. You need those clear, simple, valuable applications to pull AI across that chasm.
Exactly. It's not enough for AI to be cool. It has to solve a real painful problem for the early majority to pay attention. That's how you demonstrate undeniable value. The focus has to be not on the technology itself, but on the problems and the pain points of the people who we want to adopt the technology on,
Understand the user, understand their pain.
and come to them with a crystal clear value proposition. This AI thing will solve this specific problem for you. That's how you cross the chasm. It's as much about empathy and communication as it is about the tech itself.
Okay, let's dig into something that might seem counterintuitive. We often hear fears about AI isolating people, right? Replacing human connection.
That's a common narrative.
But our sources were telling a different story. They were talking about AI actually bringing people together, fostering connection. How does that work?
Yeah, it's fascinating. When you look closer, AI seems to be acting as this incredible catalyst for collaboration, making it easier, more powerful.
More collaboration, not less.
Seems like it. Both Zena and Sebakunzi kept coming back to this core idea. The people that are going to win at this are the ones that are going to be collaborative and community.
So collaboration isn't just nice to have, it's strategic.
It's becoming fundamental, yeah.
Mhm.
Sebakunzi's example with Lovable's community feature was perfect.
The remix button thing?
Exactly. He was so excited about being able to just click that remix button, take someone else's concept, and instantly build on it, improve it. He called it unheard of.
Like open source, but built right into the platform.
Yeah. Real-time, iterative collaboration, breaking down silos, speeding everything up collectively. And he connected this directly to the African philosophy of Ubuntu. Shared that amazing story.
The one with the missionary and the candy?
Yeah. The missionary puts candy under a tree, tells the kids whoever runs fastest gets it all, expecting a race.
But that's not what happened.
Nope. All the
Yeah.
kids held hands, walked together, got the candy, and shared it. Because, as Sebakunzi put it, they all were winners.
Ubuntu, I am because we are.
Exactly. And he saw that same spirit emerging in these AI-driven communities like Lovables, collective success over individual competition. Zena had this really hopeful vision, too. She hoped AI could help us find something that brings us back together, intergenerationally as well.
Bridging gaps, not widening them.
Right. Using tech to rebuild community ties, support economic development together. Imagine older mentors sharing wisdom in an AI community, younger innovators rapidly building solutions based on it across generations.
Wow. That really makes you think, doesn't it? If AI makes raw brain power incredibly cheap, like they said,
Yeah.
then maybe our truly human skills, connecting, collaborating, building trust, fostering community, maybe those become the ultimate differentiators.
That could be it. Shifting value from solo intellect to collective intelligence in relationships. And another really fascinating angle here is the impact on, like, personal freedom, individual autonomy, how AI changes the structure of work.
How so?
Zena said something that really struck me. We're building the workplace that we all dreamed of.
The dream workplace. What does that look like?
One where people are empowered by these tools to basically create your own type of work environment.
So beyond just remote work, really customizing your whole setup.
Yeah, your hours, your projects, your style, driven by you, enabled by the tools. And this empowerment, it could lead to a more genuine meritocracy.
How does AI enable meritocracy?
Well, if the tools can help analyze, synthesize, even correct the errors as they're coming up.
Ah, like an AI assistant catching mistakes.
Right. Then your limits become less about who you know or navigating politics and more about your work ethic and mindset and your willingness to be open to learning.
So performance is based more purely on skill and effort because the tools level the playing field somewhat.
That's the idea. A truer reward system based on results, driven by your own drive and adaptability. Masai highlighted this freedom aspect too. He pointed out that creatives, business owners, they don't need to be essentially almost a slave to your developers anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that developer bottleneck is real.
Totally. Getting a simple website change could take weeks, cost a fortune.
Right. Frustrating dependency.
But now, with these AI-powered no-code tools, all the tools are there for you to just go ahead and just start building.
Liberation.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Breaks down those dependencies, lets individuals and small teams just run with their ideas, iterate fast without needing a big tech team for every little thing. It democratizes the act of building.
Okay, so the takeaway for you, the listener, is AI isn't just changing the tasks you do. It's changing how you work, who gets to create.
Yeah, it's offering this unprecedented freedom, this agility. Skill, initiative, learning those are becoming the real currency.
Your ability to adapt and use the tools defines your opportunity more than old structures. And this isn't just happening in one place, is it? This is global. The impact is everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's not confined to Silicon Valley or any one country. It's reshaping things worldwide.
Truly a global phenomenon.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you can see how AI is leveling the playing field globally. Take the UAE example.
The United Arab Emirates giving free ChatGPT access.
Yeah, apparently ChatGPT Premium, free for all citizens, that's not just a small thing, that's a national strategy.
Investing in their whole population's AI capability.
Exactly. Treating AI as a core strategic asset for national development. Imagine the innovation when everyone has access to tools like that. It's incredibly forward-thinking. And Zena's point about accessing knowledge from non-English-speaking countries, that was powerful too.
Right, acknowledging that innovation happens everywhere, not just in English.
And admitting that sometimes English-speaking countries are far behind in certain AI areas. It challenges that Western-centric view.
So AI can bridge those language gaps.
Potentially, yes. Translation, synthesis. It can make global wisdom, global research, much more accessible to everyone. Imagine the cross-pollination of ideas.
That's huge.
And Siba Kunzi's examples of adapting to different markets, that shows the practical side.
Like understanding Nigeria's scale or Haiti's price points.
Exactly. AI isn't one size fits all. The tools can be adapted, leveraged strategically for specific local needs, economic realities, infrastructure.
So it fosters entrepreneurship everywhere, tailored to the context.
Right, democratizing opportunity across wildly different places.
So the big picture message for you is, AI is a global equalizer. It's breaking down barriers to knowledge, to innovation, to opportunity, across borders, across languages.
Yeah, it's making the world's collective intelligence, its creative potential, way more accessible to everyone.
It's a genuinely unprecedented shift, opening doors for collaboration, problem-solving, prosperity on a scale we've literally never seen. Hashtag tag tag outro. Okay, let's bring this all together. As we wrap up this deep dive, we've seen pretty clearly how AI is way more than just another piece of software. It's this incredible amplifier.
Amplifying creativity, business efficiency, collaboration.
Right. We saw it as a tool for creation, not just automation. We saw the absolute necessity of learning, adapting, staying agile.
And the power of community that came through again and again.
Definitely leveraging these tools together.
So as we look ahead, it leaves you with a really important question to think about, doesn't it? If AI keeps evolving, if it makes that raw brain power incredibly cheap, as they put it,
Yeah.
then how do you focus on, cultivate, and leverage those uniquely human things? Your network, your trust, your emotional intelligence, your specific knowledge. How do you use those to thrive?
Because those become even more valuable when the basic thinking gets commoditized.
Exactly. Your human differentiators are your new superpower, maybe.
And here's one last thought, something really provocative to chew on after you're done listening.
Okay.
If that barrier to entry, the cost and complexity of creating things is just plummeting thanks to AI, what about those million-dollar ideas you thought were impossible? Are they suddenly possible now? Are they actually within your reach just because the tools and the community are finally here to help you build them?
What becomes possible when the how gets radically easier?
Exactly. Think about that. And remember, just by listening, just by being curious, like Sheku was, you're already in the game. You're engaging.
The first step is curiosity.
But the next step, that's up to you. Maybe it's checking out Andrej Karpathy's videos. Maybe it's trying a tool like Lovable. Maybe it's finding your AI tribe online.
Whatever it is, the opportunity is there.
It really is. The chance to shape your future in this AI revolution is right here, right now. So go on. build something amazing.